In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean a vintage sports pennant, so stay tuned. Alright, so first what you want to do, there's going to be usually like loose kind of things that could just be brushed off or kind of easily wiped off when you have an older felt like that. Sometimes there'll be some dust, there'll be some dried bugs sometimes if they've been out in a garage or something like that. You can simply take a feather duster and kind of blow away first anything that comes off like so. If you have some deeper things, you can also take a regular kind of shoe brush and hold this down and kind of lightly brush off some of the other stuff. You want to make sure that some of these are not screen printed. Some of these are actually felt on felt that's ironed on. Sometimes if you brush too hard, you might scrape off some of the imagery that is on the actual felt. So analyze your felt before you go ahead and do that. Also for vintage felt, I highly not using any chemicals or steamers, because as you can see here, someone looked like they colored in some of these items back in the day, and if you steam that, those colors could bleed into the rest of your image, so you definitely don't want to steam these. There's some YouTube videos about steaming stuff. If you have a newer thing that you don't want to, you wouldn't worry about getting ruined, you can totally do that. But if you have some of these older pennants that are worth hundreds of dollars, you definitely don't want to risk the chance of steaming it and some of these inks bleeding into the other areas of the white, including the felt could be bleed into the other parts of that thing. Lastly, you're going to take your lint roller. You want a fresh, brand new one, and you're simply just going to go all the way across very slowly, as you can see here. If you have any loose screen printed items, you definitely don't want those to fall off. As you can see here, as you can see that the amount of stuff that has came off already, you're going to want to do the same thing to the back. I normally suggest doing the back first because the front is where all the good stuff is going to be usually. So once you clean that up, when you flip it, you can brush off your area so that stuff doesn't come back on, and then you would continue to do this with the front. And basically that's how you clean a vintage felt. Sometimes if you put your iron on a very low setting, you might be able to press these down, but for the vintage ones, I wouldn't suggest using any steamer or using any kind of iron heat source at all. This is how you pretty much do this, and you can get most of the dirt off it. The aged dirt is going to be stuck in there. You could wash it, but like I said, if you use a steamer or anything like that, you run the risk of bleeding any of the things. So I hope this actually helps with some of the tips here.
What you know about rocking the wolf on your noggin? What you knowin' about wearing a bird box skin? I'm digging, I'm searching right through that luggage. One man's trash, that's another man's. Your granddad, we're donating that slap. Now I'm up in her. I'm in the well, you can find me in the. I'm not a Christian in the section.